Hey there, amazing people. Ever wondered what it would be like to be a fly on the wall at your own workplace? To hear what people really think when you're not around? Well, buckle up because today's story is just like that, and trust me, it's a roller coaster of emotions. Have you ever felt completely blindsided by something unexpected? Share your stories in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button before we dive in. You guys are the best, and this story, it's absolutely for you. Let's just say, sometimes the biggest surprises happen in the most familiar places. Imagine pouring your heart and soul into building something, a dream made brick by brick, and then one ordinary morning, that dream throws you for a loop you never saw coming. Let's dive in to see what happened, shall we? Arthur Finch, a man with kind eyes and a perpetually thoughtful expression, had poured every ounce of his being into the daily grind, a cozy little cafe nestled in the heart of Oak Haven. It wasn't just a business, it was his sanctuary, a place where the aroma of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the murmur of friendly chatter. He knew most of his regulars by name, remembered their usual orders, and took immense pride in the warm, welcoming atmosphere his two baristas, Willow and Jasper, helped create. Or so he thought. One Tuesday morning, Arthur decided to experience his cafe from a different perspective. Donning a simple baseball cap and a pair of nondescript glasses, he walked in, hoping to observe the morning rush unnoticed. He wanted to see his cafe through the eyes of a first-time customer. He ordered a simple black coffee from Willow, her usual cheerful demeanor seemingly intact. "Morning. That'll be $3.50, she chirped, handing him his cup with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. Arthur paid, a strange unease settling in his stomach. Something felt off. He found a quiet corner table, the kind tucked away near the window, perfect for eavesdropping without seeming obvious. He sipped his coffee, the familiar rich taste doing little to soothe his growing anxiety. Then he heard them. Willow and Jasper, chatting behind the counter, their voices low but clear enough to carry. "Honestly, I don't know how much longer I can keep this up," Willow sighed, her usual bright tone replaced with a weary flatness. Jasper leaned closer, lowering his voice even further. "Tell me about it. The way he micromanages everything? It's suffocating." Arthur froze, his coffee cup halfway to his lips. Micromanages? Who are they talking about? He tried to rationalize it. Maybe they were talking about a difficult customer, but the next words shattered that hope. "And the pay? It's barely enough to cover rent," Willow continued, her voice laced with resentment. "I saw the prices he charges. He's definitely making a killing." A cold wave washed over Arthur. He had always prided himself on being a fair employer. He paid slightly above the average for the area, offered flexible hours, and even chipped in for their birthdays. Could he have been so wrong about their perception? Jasper chimed in, his tone equally bitter. "And don't even get me started on his vision for this place. It's stuck in the past. We've suggested new ideas, things that would actually bring in more customers, but he just dismisses them." Arthur's heart sank. He had always been open to suggestions, or so he believed. Had he become so set in his ways that he was stifling their creativity? Doubt gnawed at him. He had envisioned the daily grind as a collaborative space, a family even. But what he was hearing painted a starkly different picture. He listened intently as they continued, their conversation revealing a deep-seated dissatisfaction he had been completely oblivious to. They spoke of feeling undervalued, their opinions ignored, and their hard work underappreciated. Each word was like a tiny shard of ice piercing through Arthur's carefully constructed reality. Suddenly, a regular customer, Mrs. Gable, approached the counter. Her warm smile and friendly greeting were a stark contrast to the icy atmosphere Arthur was now privy to. Willow and Jasper instantly switched gears, their faces lighting up with practiced smiles. The effortless transition sent another jolt through Arthur. Were these smiles genuine, or were they just a facade? As Mrs. Gable walked away with her latte, Willow and Jasper's masks dropped. They resumed their hushed conversation, their complaints picking up where they left off. Arthur felt a knot of confusion and hurt tighten in his chest. He had always believed in open communication. Why hadn't they come to him with these issues? Was he truly so unapproachable? He decided he had heard enough. The cheerful ambience of his beloved cafe now felt suffocating, the aroma of coffee replaced by the bitter taste of betrayal. He stood up, his hands trembling slightly, and walked towards the counter. Willow and Jasper looked up, their smiles faltering as they recognized him, the baseball cap doing little to disguise his identity. The color drained from their faces. "Arthur?" Willow stammered, her eyes wide with panic. Jasper's mouth hung slightly open, his usual confident demeanor completely vanished. The silence that followed was thick with unspoken words and palpable tension. Arthur's mind raced, a whirlwind of emotions: hurt, confusion, disappointment. He had come here seeking an honest glimpse into his business, but he had stumbled upon a truth that was far more painful than he could have imagined. He took a deep breath, trying to compose himself. I heard what you were saying," he managed, his voice betraying the tremor in his heart. Willow and Jasper exchanged a terrified glance. The comfortable familiarity that usually filled the café had evaporated, replaced by an awkward, heavy silence. Other customers, sensing the shift in atmosphere, began to look on with curiosity and concern. Arthur looked at their pale faces, the fear in their eyes mirroring the turmoil within him. He had a choice to make. He could unleash his anger, confront them with their harsh words, and perhaps even fire them on the spot. But that wasn't the kind of person he wanted to be. He had always believed in second chances, in understanding the root of the problem. "Tell me," he said, his voice softer now, tinged with a genuine desire to understand. "Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Why do you feel this way?" The question hung in the air, a bridge between their fractured perceptions. Willow and Jasper looked at each other, a silent conversation passing between them. Then, slowly, hesitantly, they began to speak. They talked about feeling unheard, their ideas dismissed without proper consideration. They spoke of the financial pressures they faced, and how they perceived the disparity between their wages and the café's success. They voiced their frustrations with certain routines, and their longing for more autonomy and a greater sense of ownership. As they spoke, Arthur listened, truly listened, without interrupting or getting defensive. He saw the genuine hurt and frustration in their eyes, and a wave of understanding washed over him. He had been so focused on his vision, on the day-to-day operations, that he had become blind to the needs and aspirations of his team. He had inadvertently created a barrier, a distance that had allowed resentment to fester. It wasn't that they were bad people, they were simply feeling unheard and undervalued. And perhaps, in his own way, he had failed them. "Thank you," Arthur said finally, his voice filled with a newfound humility. "Thank you for being honest with me. I had no idea you felt this way. I've been so caught up in running the business that I haven't been seeing the bigger picture, the human side of things." He looked around the café, at the customers who had become like friends, at the space he had painstakingly created. It was more than just a business, it was a community, and he had almost let it crumble because of his own blind spots. "I promise you," Arthur continued, his gaze earnest, "I will do better. I want to hear your ideas. I want you to feel valued and respected. Let's work together to make this place even better, a place where all of us feel proud to be." Willow and Jasper looked at him, a flicker of hope replacing the fear in their eyes. The tension in the café began to dissipate, replaced by a fragile sense of possibility. Arthur knew it wouldn't be easy. There would be changes to make, trust to rebuild. But as he looked at Willow and Jasper, he saw not disgruntled employees, but individuals with valuable perspectives and a genuine desire to contribute. He had gone undercover hoping to understand his business better, and he had stumbled upon a far more profound truth. That true success wasn't just about profits and efficiency. It was about people, about creating a space where everyone felt seen, heard, and valued. And that was a vision worth fighting for. So, what do you think? Have you ever had a moment where you realized things weren't as they seemed? Share your thoughts below. And remember, sometimes the most valuable lessons are learned when we step outside our comfort zone and truly listen to the voices around us. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that make you think. The moral of the story? Sometimes the greatest insights come not from looking at the numbers, but from listening to the hearts of the people who help you build your dreams. True leadership isn't about telling people what to do. It's about creating an environment where everyone feels empowered to contribute their best. And sometimes the most valuable feedback comes from the most unexpected places.